This is the cheap light venture to Szczecin in Poland, and let's start venture off with the tallest building in the city, which is this building. This building is only just finished being built, and the lifts are some really nice 3 meter a second Schindler 5500s with destination dispatch. Let's ride them.
Piętro 13.
What? Start it again. What the fuck was that all about?
Piętro 26.
Looks very nice. Very nice in front.
Pierwsza kabina C. 27. Kabina A. This group serves floor 27 through -3. Please press again when you hear your destination. 27, 26, 26, car A. Zero, kabina C. 5. Kabina C.
And let's surf them. Whee! Well, this is nice. So then, let's alternate between new and old, so let's now go to something old and along to a really awesome old-fashioned hospital, which has got an epic old relay-controlled lift.
Holy shit, it's a light bulb. What the fuck? That's weird.
So then, let's now go to my favourite shopping centre in Szczecin, which is the Galaxy Shopping Centre. It's something about Polish shopping centres which is really nice. To be honest, they're actually better than shopping centres in Germany. They're always so shiny and modern and futuristic. This atrium area with this building architecture looks really stunning. Then there's the food court, which is really nice. All of the fast food in Poland is cheaper than Western European countries and tastes better than Western European countries. Poland is a really nice place to visit. And now let's go to the lifts in this shopping centre, which are some really nice Schindler 5500s.
Przystanek 2.
So then, let's continue to take a look around this shopping centre. And along to the car park lift, which is also a Schindler 5500.
Oh, 1A, that's an announcement.
Piętro drugie.
So then, as there's a heatwave in Poland where I filmed this video, they've added a really creative and good solution to keep people cool. In the street, there are mist arches, which are arches that just spray mist, and if you want to cool down, you just walk through that arch. This is a very innovative idea. They should do this in England.
Misty walk. That's so weird, everyone just walks through it.
And now we go along to the university. Most of the lifts here were complete shit, so I'm not even going to bother looking at those. But there is one good lift, which is an awesome, epic, inner doorless, relay controlled lift.
Oh, nice. Wow, very nice. See, you want to leave the door open when there's no one in it. When someone gets in, you have to then shut the doors. Which I find is very strange. Right. Oh no, you don't. It's been bypassed. You don't have to shut the doors. That's a nice motor sound. You can't exit. You need a key to exit. That's fucking weird. Let's have one go down. Okay, now I can't take the lift back down again. Okay, now it goes down. That's a bit dodgy. Oh! It stopped. That's not good. Okay, so I did not like going to -1. This lift's a bit dodgy.
And now we go along to the second tallest building in the city, which is this building. This has got some Otis lifts with destination dispatch. 3 of the lifts serve the office floors, which are behind security barriers, and this very small fence which you could easily jump over if you wanted to. The 4th lift, even though it's in the same set as the others with the destination dispatch, the 4th lift is set to run separately as it goes up to the publicly accessible restaurant on the top floor.
Cafe 22, so that's 22. Oh, there. So if you're in 22, it always gives you one this side of the barrier. Interesting. That's interesting. This one is dedicated for going to the cafe. This is outside the barriers. You don't jump up so easily. Whee! Oh, it's not also 4. I thought it'd be 4 meters a second. It's more like 3. Big camera up there. Oh, here I count to 8, rumble past. What's the fan do? Let's see. Not much. 24. Floor not served.
Proszę wprowadzić numer piętra. Prosím, stiskněte tlačítko zvoleného patra. Zakaz vstępu. Přístup odmítnut. Vyhledejte pomoc. Proszę wprowadzić piętro 0. Proszę przejść do windy. C. Do. Z tyłu po prawej. Patron.
So dedicated lift C for just going up to the cafe. And it doesn't let you go to any of the other floors from here. So from this floor you can only get back to ground floor. Weird setup this. Oh, because in disabled mode it makes it take a long time before it lets the door shut. Oh, how long does disabled mode make it wait? It's be ages. Interesting setup.
And now we go along to the main train station. Let's take a look around this station. This station was smaller than I expected for a major Polish city, but it is still interesting. It's got quite a few lifts here. First we go along to the Arola lifts.
Piętro pierwsze.
And the lifts at the bridge at the other end of the platform are Cone Eco Discs, and this is the first ever time I've come across a Cone NMX11 4:1. This lift is really nice.
So this lift goes the same distance, platform to bridge, but it's got a weird half-floor arrangement set up on it. So you've got a staff-only platform tick off a staff-only bridge. So here we go, it's got weird half-floors. Up and you've got a half-floor there, we've just gone past, that's ticket office. No half-floor there, then you've got staff-only floor there, now you've got platform. And sadly, pre-door has not been enabled, which is very bad.
And now I go to some tower blocks. These tower blocks weren't that interesting. I was hoping for better. The lifts in these tower blocks have all been horribly replaced with a complete load of shit. So there's a new thing I'll be doing in all my cheap flight adventures is comparing the food and food price compared to England. Let's take a look at what I ate for dinner. So I had McDonald's, and usually McDonald's is fairly bog standard and the same thing across Europe, except in Poland it's actually a bit nicer than the rest of Europe. The burgers are a lot less greasy and seem higher quality compared to what they serve in Germany. So this is what I had for dinner. This is McDonald's salad, which is usually the most overpriced thing at McDonald's sells, but over in Poland it's more reasonably priced. Plus I also had a mini meal, which is something that McDonald's only seem to do in Poland. They call it a 2 for you, and it's a smaller burger and a small fries, and it's at a very reduced cost, and it's incredibly good value for money. And you don't get a drink with that, but I don't drink McDonald's disgusting fizzy drinks because I only drink tap water. So then, all of this here came to just £4, which is a very reasonable price. Much, much cheaper than if I had the same thing over in Germany. So now we go along to the place where I was staying. This place has some Schindler 3300s with capacitive buttons, and inside the lift it's got keypad floor select. Now I know Schindler occasionally do these keypad floor select things, but after this has been tried twice by Schindler Smart in the early 2000s and ThyssenKrupp Ices in the mid 2000s, and all of these trials of keypad floor select show that ordinary passengers who are not lot lift enthusiasts get so confused by these things. Like someone would press to go to floor 1, someone would press to go to floor 2, and the lift would be like, there's no 12th floor, even though the people pressing the buttons weren't intending to put in 12. So I thought no lift company would ever restore these again, yet this is a new lift and Schindler once again trying out keypad floor select. Maybe in a modern day people are more used to this type of interface on a lift. Anyway, it does look very nice because it's capacitive, although as for the build quality of the lift itself is a 3300 and is disgustingly cheap. So let's now take a look at the hotel room, and this is a full apartment. It's got a kitchen area, it's got a bed, it's got a bathroom with a shower, and it's perfect. There's literally nothing I could say that's wrong with this place, and this costs just £25 a night. Now that is more than what I usually pay in Poland, because usually in Poland I'd say shared dorms come at about £6 to £8 a night, then private rooms with off-suite bathroom come to about £12 to £15 a night, and private rooms with en-suite bathroom are usually about £20 onwards per night. As this is a full apartment, £25 is what you'd expect to pay in Poland, which is much cheaper in the UK, considering just a bog standard hotel room without an apartment usually comes to like £60 in the UK. And over in Germany, because everyone's travelling in Germany due to the cheap train tickets, hotel rooms are like £150 or even more in Germany. So £25 in Poland is very, very reasonable. So then the next day, let's continue on with the adventure. So let's now continue taking a look around the shopping centres of Szczecin. Along to the next shopping centre, this is the largest shopping centre in the city centre. This is Galeria Cascada, and this shopping centre is very nice. Although all of the shops here are mainly overpriced international brands, if you want actual good value for money Polish stuff, shop elsewhere. To be honest, I actually do a lot of shopping when I come to Poland, simply because if you look in the right places, Poland has some incredibly cheap, good quality clothes, but not from the major brands because they're as overpriced as everywhere else in the world. This shopping centre also features some very nice atriums like this here with the nice red escalators, and along we go to the lifts, which are sadly just Otis's. Ugh. That's weird, they've done that. I've never seen one like that with right to the side. The inside looks wrong like that. Quite a big Otis.
Poziom 4, parking P3, level 4, car park P3.
This makes no sense. This is floor 4. The floor 4 is parking free, and it says they're parking free. That's fucked. Why don't they number it better? Should be lower mile, middle mile, upper mile, 1, 2, 3. That should. Whatever. They can't even number their own shopping centre correct. Window monitoring. The lift is being monitored. Or is it? I can't see a camera. Let's just find a mirror. It's a very posh shopping centre.
Now we go to the next shopping centre. This is a more of an out-of-town style shopping centre. This is CH Stir. The shopping centre looks very nice on the outside with its nice colouring. On the inside, it was pretty bog standard. The lift here is a little Schindler 5500, and this was only going to a shop in one part of the shopping centre. As for the rest of the shopping centre, it's all on one floor, so there is no lifts. And that's a bit boring. So let's quickly move on to the next shopping centre, which is Atrium Molo. In this shopping centre, the interior looks okay, maybe slightly dated, maybe it's just that I'm used to really nice shopping centres in Poland. This one wasn't quite up to the same standard. This one does have a glass lift in it. This is a generic lift branded as Pro Lift, and this is a bottom drive MRL lift. Pro Lift is crap. Now we go to the next shopping centre. This one was in the city centre, so you would expect this one to be really good, but this shopping centre was complete utter shit. This is Novi Terzin, and the main passenger lifts in this shopping centre were Otis cargo lifts.
That's hydraulic and it made that weird sound. Almost an attraction. Cargo 2000.
Also in Poland, there are outlet centres. As for looking for lifts, there are no lifts. So this sort of place is not a lift enthusiast's dream. And there's one shop I just want to point out because it's so crap. And that is Poundland in Poland, which is called Deals. How did that get through their PR marketing? Deals? What the fuck? That sounds completely shit and tacky. It's a terrible name for a shop. Why didn't they just call it Zlotyland? Since that's the name of the currency in Poland. Now, if you're wanting to make use of getting cheap shopping while you're in Poland, there's another type of place that's worth going, which is the cash and carries. And these cash and carries in Poland have some incredibly cheap stuff. The value for money is crazy. Now, as Szczecin is on the border with Germany, lots and lots of Germans come over to the large cash and carries here to buy cheap stuff, which they then take back to Germany to resell on. So this part of Poland actually has a lot of big out-of-town shops catering to the cross-border German market. So then, that's the shopping centres complete. Let's now go and take a look at the hotels. These are the sort of big international style hotels which sometimes have interesting lifts, although sometimes not. I don't actually ever stay in these places because these sort of hotels are just beyond my price range. And in Poland, why would you even want to stay in these big international hotels charging international prices when you have such good value for money small scale hotels like the place I'm staying in? Literally, the place I'm staying in is such good value for money, it's so nice there. You'd be a fool to go and spend money on the expensive international hotels. Anyway, into the first one, which has got Cone Eco-Disc lifts. And despite this hotel trying to be a posh hotel with quite posh theming on the inside, the lifts are just NMX 07s. That's like bottom of the range. I'd expect something a bit better than that. Now there's two lifts here, and one of these two lifts has a rear door which opens up to a mezzanine floor. This mezzanine is called floor 0A, and when you go to this floor on the indicator it shows 0 space A, and when you've got 3 characters on the indicator it makes the font smaller to accommodate that. Anyway, let's now go on to the next hotel, which is the Radisson Blu. Radisson Blues are very posh, they're all quite typical, they all have that very posh look to them. This one's got some Otis lifts. Go talking lift door. I hit that, look, when you open that, it's that roller. It's not supposed to do that, that's out of alignment. And now we go along to the Marriott Hotel. This has got Schindler 3300 Plus. Now, I was very tired of this hotel, I wasn't really looking at it closely. For a moment I thought it's Schindler 5500, but I realised, no, it's just a stupid 3300 Plus. Considering this is a Marriott, why would they cheapen out? They should have gone for the 5500.
Intro -2.
So dumb sometimes, I keep mistaking these for 5500s. It's not, it's a 3300 Plus scoping up. No chassis. Plus, as well as that, I thought the doors sounded different because the 5500s go woo, these doors didn't. Look here, come on. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
So then, now we go along to the train station and I now get on the train to the airport. Szczecin Airport is one of the most shit airports I've ever been to. It is so fucking shit, it's unbelievable. As this is the main airport for a major city in Poland, how on earth can it be so crap? This airport is 30 miles from the city, which is ridiculous, although that said, Stansted's actually 30 miles from London, so maybe not so ridiculous, but for Poland that is ridiculous. And there's only 5 trains a day each way to the airport, and the trains don't sync up with the flights. Now apparently there are coaches you can get to sync up with flights, but you have to book them through this weird booking thing, and to be honest I just couldn't be bothered with it. So I took the last train to the airport, and hey, since the trains just cost £2.60 to go 30 miles, which is very good value, and the bus is a lot more expensive, fuck it, I just went to the airport early. 4 hours to wait for a flight, so as I had a hammock on me, I just hammocked up in the woods for 2.5 hours, catched up on a bit of sleep. So let's now take a look around the area where this airport is. It literally is the middle of nowhere.
So then, I'm in the middle of nowhere. This looks like a little tiny shithole countryside station, and that's because it is. This is Szczecin Airport, and this airport has just 5 trains a day. That is not many trains. In fact, I've got 4 hours to my flight because the trains don't even sync up for flights. It literally is a tiny airport. I've been to some very, very small airports over the years. Like Le Rochelle in France was absolutely tiny. But this has to be the most obscurest, weirdest little airport Ryanair goes to. I'm not sure if I could recommend coming to this airport, because when you get here, the Ryanair plane that's going to arrive here is going to not have any trains back, because that was the last train to this airport. So all the passengers arriving on Ryanair will have to get a taxi, or there is a bus, but I couldn't even work out how to book it. It's like really obscure. Probably easier if you're getting off the plane, because the bus will be right in front of you, but still, it's a very difficult airport to get to. So I've got 4 hours for my plane. I guess I'll have a little look around the area. To be honest, I'm incredibly tired, so I'll probably just set up a hammock somewhere and have a rest for a couple of hours. So then, here's the airport. As you can see, it is tiny. It's literally a little tiny thing in the middle of the woods. So there's 30 miles from the city. Considering the city's quite big, this airport really doesn't do the city justice. It's tiny. So here we got a level crossing. Notice there's not even any lights on it. That's crazy. So you have to drive up to level crossing, look both ways, check there's no train coming, then go across. If the train's coming, you'd expect like lights to go off or some sort of warning signal so cars just don't drive across, but no, not at all. That's just weird. So relaxed about safety here. There's not any fences alongside of the railway, which there usually isn't in Europe, so I don't really care that much if you walk across the railway. Unlike in England, where there's fences everywhere and you have to keep off the railway at all times, otherwise the BTP come and get you. But over here, I have a far more sensible and relaxed approach. Although I'm not sure about having level crossings and no lights. That seems ridiculously dangerous to me.
So continuing on with taking a look at food and food prices in different places around the world, let's take a look at what the supermarket food is like in Poland. Notice how cheap everything is. Poland is incredibly good value for money, and also this is from a regular supermarket in the centre of the city. This is not from one of the big out of town supermarkets, and this is not from a cash and carry. So by no means is this the cheapest supermarket food, but it's still cheap.
So then, let's take a look at what prices are like in Poland. All of this is my lunch here, and all of this came to £3.50, which I think is very good value. So let's take a look. This cheese here, in England that'd be about £1.50 to £2. This was 80p. Got a salami. This here, depending on the shop, probably that amount would be like £1.20 or something, depending on the shop. More expensive shops, maybe £1.50, maybe in a very big cheap supermarket, it might be £1. This was 90p. And by the way, this is from a small supermarket, this wasn't even from a big supermarket. This here's 4 bars of chocolate. This was 90p, that's very good value. This here's a vitamin drink. I don't think we've quite got a comparison for what it would be in England, because you don't quite get them like it's in England, but that was 50p. Red pepper is 25p, that's very nice. And big bottle of water was 15p. Bottles of water have actually gone up in shops now. In a big supermarket you probably get something like that for about 30p or so. But in the smaller like Tesco Express and that, they've now gone up to 60p for their cheapest water, which is ridiculous just for water. But in Poland, just 15p. And you don't have to pay the silly bottle tax like you do in Germany. So all of that came to £3.50. I think that's a very good value. That's actually now cheaper than Bulgaria. Now, when I first started Cheap Flight Ventures, Bulgaria was actually cheaper than Poland, but Poland has got cheaper and Bulgaria's got slightly more expensive. Both are still very cheap, but now Poland is even cheaper than Bulgaria, so it's very, very cheap. Poland is a really good country to go to. This cheese is actually really nice. It's got like herbs in it. You don't even get cheese like this in England. In England, for cheese like this nice, it'd probably be like £2. And this was 80p. It shows you how cheap Poland is for very nice stuff.
So after having a rest in the hammock, I then went into the airport. What can I say about this fucking shit airport, other than it literally is fucking shit.
A shelfless.
Good idea,